Now, so I'm in the top 5% with this Apollo win already, and yeah, I wanted to kind of solidify my place in it. There's about 500 racers or so in the top 5 in this, but I'm actually missing 3 epics here from my version of this pretty awesome top speed car. And yeah, I'm missing epics in handling and top speed, so I definitely want to make sure that I remain in that top 5%, and also, yeah, obviously throw up a video here and yeah, show my run of the bridge finale in this car. Like, it's a pretty crazy car just for that, like, top speed. This thing is kind of unrivaled in the class B cars, especially anyway. And yeah, like with bridge finale, it really kind of allows this car to shine quite a bit because there's a good few straights here and lots of kind of trick potential to boost this car. Yeah, really up to that top speed nice and quickly. Just light cornering as much as possible into the first ramp, and yeah, imperfect nitro. Land an open drift and then try and straighten the car up as much as possible. Yeah, and a blue nitro state across that S corner. And again, imperfect. You got an imperfect pretty much off every single ramp in this course, nearly, except for coming up down here. If you can build up enough nitro just to get a shockwave on there is superior, but yeah, it's grand to just yeah, as long as it's imperfect in the air. This thing's nitro stat is really, really strong. Blue when you land onto the ledge there if you can, and then just a small drift to try and fill up some nitro to make sure you have your shockwave for this hill climb. It's kind of run over if you don't shockwave up there, just because yeah, it's like way too slow. Blue nitro across your factory grounds, that kind of warehouse area, and then yeah, hard drift here while holding the accelerator to make sure you actually stay yeah, with the higher level of traction. Do not open drift that last corner, and then just again imperfect right through the air straight up to 300 miles an hour is crazy. And then build some meter for the finale. 130. Why is it not 135? Ah, that's not too bad. 136, pretty much even. Yeah, that should solidify my top 5% run. And yeah, say, like, you can see just anytime you're pretty much going up ramps with this thing, just throw it up there, imperfect, drift at the start here, and yeah, blue nitro state over like the rugged kind of patch of ground in that S-shaped corner, and just make sure that you don't dip down to like the 140 miles an hour mark. You'll know straight away if you've taken that first corner poorly. And then yeah, imperfect flips into the air. And just a bit of a drift here can give you enough to shockwave up on that ramp to land down before the wharf area. You can overshoot this by quite a bit if you do shockwave, so just be careful that the car will shoot fairly far. When you're coming up here as well, I said like a blue nitro state, and that is because there is a patch of kind of rough ground that, yeah, if you land into that, with the car not in a blue nitro state, it can just immediately dip down to really low speeds. And again, just like try your best to have a shockwave ready for the ramp and hill climb, because even an imperfect state just isn't enough for that. And like, yeah, I mentioned the factory floor area down here. It's like you need to go into a nitro state coming down here. You can build it up from near misses on the cars on either side. Just be careful not to clip them. But you have to be in a nitro state just when you go into the red area, like going into the factory area. If you go onto that red ground, oh, that's like the perfect shot. But yeah, if you go into the red ground on that without like a blue nitro state, your car is just immediately going to dip down to like that 140 miles an hour mark, and just, yeah, it's like, I say run over, but you know, it's like just genuinely you're not making the top 5%. I'd say if you, yeah, just stick that into the red area and drop down to the 140 mark, it's just gonna be too slow. And yeah, like the end of this race is standard enough. Bridge finale isn't used in too many events, but It's a pretty cool track, and especially like I said, the Apollo N is a beautiful car. This, like, if you can make the most out of it. 136, that places me 127th place right now. And yeah, like there is about 500 racers or so in the top 5%, so that's me solidly getting at least 2 epics for the 3 that I'm missing anyway for my car. Let's see who is up. McLaren 570. So yeah, taking a look then. AGGP, no pay to win with a time. Oh, like those times are so close. The 2 people above me have like the identical time. But yeah, McLaren 570S Pog, Caveman, and Italia Michael. Grats to like people who are touch faster than mine. Those times though, as you go up along, like that is awesome. Kind of how narrow the gap is. But yeah, like taking a look at my car then, and yeah, I'm missing 3 epics from this one. So yeah, I've neither of the 2 in handling, and with top speed. Yeah, that's where I'm missing 1 of the epics from top speed. So I will need a little bit of luck with this and that top 5% to get the 3 required for it. But like the Apollo is such a pretty car. It's definitely one that's like, yeah, as long as you kind of ignore the original company name behind it, because it wasn't always called Apollo. The original name was a bit dorky, maybe is the best way of describing it. But yeah, like an absolutely gorgeous car, and I've seen a lot of people like complaining the fact that, oh, I did the whole car hunt and I'm missing 1 star from the top of this. The Apollo N, even like if you are missing a star from it, this car is an absolute like speed beast, and it may be a bit tough in multiplayer to get it up to that top speed, but for any of the events, like this thing is just absolutely a dream to drive, I think. And yeah, if you manage to get from 0 stars up to 1 missing star in this car hunt, congrats, because like yeah, it is a really a beautiful addition to any garage in my opinion. And yeah, this is one as well where the epic import parts for this car do appear in the Legend store quite frequently. And I even seen one in the last day while I was doing this. And obviously, I need 3. And the thing is like, I could have bought 1 to try to get an extra 1. But if I end up getting 3 from those packs, like, it's going to be completely counterproductive. Because I'd buy it for 8,000 trade coins, I think it is. And yeah, then I'd be trading it in if I got an extra 1 from the packs for like 100 trade coins, or 161 if you've got the Legend Pass. So definitely, I would not advise buying epics for this one before the end of the actual event, because an epic really is, like, an epic realistically isn't going to make that huge a difference, and it's just one of those things where you'll spend a lot of trade coins and you probably won't get them back. I said I'd just add this on at the end because a couple of people asked me about this Koenigsegg Regera and what I thought of it as like an elite S-Class car with that crazy top speed, and a couple of things. Like, about the car itself, I'm not a huge fan of it, kind of ever. I think that, like, while on paper it looks like a really good car, I don't think it compares to, like, similar-ish cars. Say, just as a direct comparison, one of the, like, kind of closest ones, obviously, which, like, in the kind of elite class is going to be, say, the Bugatti Chiron. Now, if you look at them on paper, like I said, like this one is 6 stars and near fully tuned. And I think I'm just missing a couple of epics. Let me see. Yeah. All right. So I've got the epics in acceleration, 1 in top speed, 1 in handling, and 3 in nitro. So yeah, there's 5 epics or so missing from that. But anyway, like, the thing about this car is, on paper, the stats are like 454 top speed against the Chiron is 438. And like, obviously, my Chiron does not have the 6-star tuning applied to it just yet. But yeah, so like, top speed, Chiron way slower. Acceleration, it appears to be like in line with the Chiron. Handling, for some bizarre reason, I've no idea why, the Koenigsegg Regera is listed as having a higher handling stat than that. And that's one of the things with these numbers in the game, is the fact that, like, for anyone who has driven the Bugatti Chiron and the Koenigsegg Regera, like, there is no way I think that most players would suggest that the Regera handles better than the Chiron. Like, when it comes to drifting especially, I don't know, the Regera is nuts to me. And like, so many of the runs that I've gone through in Rome, like, have ended with horrific physics-based kind of things where it lands down from a ramp, the butt of the car sticks into the ground and it just pings off. Or just where, yeah, it lands on the edge of the side of the car and just explodes into pieces. And yeah, it's one where, like, that handling stat, just, I do not understand in the slightest how that's, like, you know, even a fraction higher than the Chiron. Nitro stat, 61 in the Chiron, down to 52 in the Regera. What that means basically is that the Koenigsegg, like, it does accelerate significantly slower. It has a higher top speed. But when you actually take those two things to the track and you factor in the fact that the Regera's got really, really strange handling, like, if you haven't unlocked this car already, I cannot ever recommend chasing down the Regera. It's a car that not only, in my opinion, would always be a second choice to the Chiron, but say, like, with the tokens spent for these packs, you have to think that, like, at garage level 18 and 17, definitely, you start to see Regera packs, or Regera blueprints, I mean, in the actual Legend store every day for, I think, is it 228k for the first one, and then 336 possibly k for the second. But yeah, you can buy blueprints for the Regera on nearly a daily basis once you get your garage level up to a certain point. And yeah, it's like, it's cool to get this car, and mine's tuned up because I used this to actually get one of my last garage levels. I think this was, like, really added towards that thing, because it's obviously worth a lot to a garage to have this 4,500 car in there. But I wouldn't go crazy chasing it down from these packs especially. I don't think it's needed for anything in particular coming up. If I'm wrong about that, please do comment down below and be like, oh no, you need this car for X event, because I don't like to suggest things that are completely wrong. But yeah, I do not believe the Koenigsegg Regera is needed for anything. So if you're on the last day, because I know this is one day left to go, don't be too crazy about, like, spending tokens on chasing this car down. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, if I spend tokens on this one, I could be able to, like, compete in the contest and get back to things. If you were using a 1 or 2 or 3 star Koenigsegg Regera in the Elite competition, say for the S-Class Elite, which is in now, you are going to be really lucky to do anything beyond, I would say, top 50% in this. Like, top 25% with the Regera in a kind of freshly unlocked state, and you're talking about getting 50 tokens for that. So realistically, you're getting almost no comeback from unlocking this car at a base level. Even if you were one of the best drivers ever and you were able to get the 1-star version of this car and get into the top 10%, it's 100 tokens. You know, it's like 1/7 of a 10 pack of blueprints for that car. Now you also have rewards for the legendary weekend race, and that's another fairly harsh issue with this one. My time in this event currently is 1 minute and 43 seconds, which, depending on how your version of the car is, that might sound like a decent enough time. And yeah, it's a decent enough time, but it's also a top 25% time. Because the simple fact of the matter is, there isn't a massive margin of players in this one competing, so the top 1, the top 3% in this are absolutely tiny. If you were looking at this and thinking, oh, I'll just get myself 200 tokens if I unlock the car and get into that top 3%, taking a look here at the brackets, yeah. So if you wanted to actually get into that top 1%, you would be one of the 15 players to actually get in there. And yeah, the top 3% currently, according to the rank bot, yeah, it's 45 racers. So that's, yeah. If you genuinely, again, if you think you could get that car unlocked in a 1-star or 2-star state and, you know, be in the top 15 players of with the Koenigsegg Regera, good luck. And yeah, you'll get yourself 2 epic import parts and 300 tokens back. So almost half of a 10 pack of cards right there. So I really kind of wanted to emphasize the fact that, like, if you do unlock this card during this event, chances are you're going to get little to nothing back out of it. My run, that 143, I have it captured, but I wasn't recording myself at the time because I was like, I did a race in this and it went poorly, and then I was like, oh, I'll just race it again, and that went poorly. So I've done this one quite a few times. It's like 10, 15 plus to get that 123 time, and I think that's where I'm gonna like stop. But yeah, that run does not have commentary. It is just a case of, like, you can see the pathway that I take to get that time, and you can see the fact of, like, just places where I just clip off of stuff and yeah, lose speed and things, because like I said, that car's handling, I really don't like it. And yeah, it's one where, like, I could try and get up to the 45th position to get that top 3% and get an extra 100 tokens from it. But realistically, without the Legend Pass active right now, you get 3 units of fuel for that car, and it takes an hour and maybe an hour and 20 minutes or so to actually, like, have attempts with this. And then you have the problem as well, the fact that, like, it's 6 tickets to have 3 runs. This is a fairly long track, 1 minute and 43, and all it takes is for the car to get a bit giddy at any stage and it's run over. I had so many runs in this where, like, going up on a small little ramp, and like I said, the rear end of this car just has a tendency to kind of get very, very twitchy when it comes to landing into a drift state. It's nasty. Definitely not one I'd advise chasing from this legendary weekend, unless you really need a garage level up. But like I said, then you have to keep in mind the fact that, like, this car, if you spend tokens on it now, you would be able to get it for credits later. All right, I'm going to stop ranting about the Koenigsegg. I think it's fairly clear I'm not a fan of that car. It's definitely, in my opinion, not that elite. And, like, it's got a crazy top speed, but realistically, very few tracks you're ever going to see that actual top speed in this. And as somebody who has, like, an effectively 5-star Chiron and a 6-star version of the Koenigsegg, because I have that tuned up to, like, as much as possible for my, which is 10,000 or 10 million credits I wish I could get back, but I cannot. But yeah, as somebody that has the 5-star Chiron and the 6-star version of Koenigsegg, in multiplayer, I never ever use the Regera, and even in my elite S-class races each week, I would just never choose the Regera over the Chiron. Now, before committing to the upload of the training no commentary video, I said I'll give this one last run, since I have tickets and a fuel unit for this really good car. And yeah, let's see, if this one is close to the 143.7, I'll upload this one instead of the actual training run. But this car, like, it's so kicks my ass, and I don't know, it just bores me a small bit. Like, it's definitely one of those ones where I get the top speed is cool, but yeah, it is just a nightmare to actually get it there. See, like, here you have the shockwave, and it doesn't get it up to the 282 max speed. Like, I think you can probably count, like, the number of seconds in this race where I'm actually at that 282. Whereas if this was something like the Chiron, I'm quite confident the fact that, like, even though it has that lower top speed overall, just the other stats would give it, the extra little bit of beans that it needs to, spend, like I said, 260 instead of that 280. Again, a really lame fall off the side wall. Whoever, shockwave and shockwave. Again, the shockwave punch just not enough to get this car up to the thing's top speed. Will I get it onto the top speed here? Possibly, because it's one of the longer straights on this track. Oh. Now I'm going to go on the right area here and then look at a drift into the inside blue nitro state to go. I'm going to save up some nitro for flip down to the under area here and then up and over. Oh my lord, that's badly taken. Punch to the finish line. Wow. I swear, when I talk, it seems to like, yeah, that does something to my brain when it comes to the actual like focus in this game. And yeah, so I shave off like quite a portion of that. I hate this car. I just genuinely hate it. So yeah, I don't need to put up a training run of this that I thought I would, because yeah, I had one extra fuel unit left over and one tiny amount of patience with this Koenigsegg. But yeah, like you can see it there. It's just so rarely is the car at that. It's 282 miles per hour is what the potential that it has as a top speed. But realistically, like this thing just spends almost little to no time at it. Any time it's going, oh, to be fair, that ledge was taken kind of poorly, but yeah, like the flip up here and trying to get this thing to like rope itself in a small bit, it's just such a pain in the boot. And yeah, I'm so used to cars where a punch of nitro shockwave will not get up close to the top speed. This one just can't do it. So you do that punch, it goes up to about 260-ish, taking it out. Like that is on me a bit. I'm just kind of expecting it to be a more decent state. And yeah, unfortunately, it's not. Oh, now will I re-record the other part? No, I won't. I'll leave this in. But yeah, all the way to the end. Will that be 143? Will that be a top 100 even? 109. Oh dearie me. Yeah, and that's still not going to even be top 3%. But yeah, like, there we go. You can get it that close. Like, I know myself, it's like I can shave off another probably half a second to a second, and that's still not going to move into the top 3%. So it is just a case of like, I don't know. I like the track. I hate that car. Genuinely do. Yeah. So I can actually say it now because yeah, that's not at the end of my no commentary run. Sub button up there over my head. Other videos for me here and here. And if you got into the top 3% in this one, congrats realistically, because like this one is a just nightmare. But yeah, I said I wanted to upload a video of it anyway, just in case, where I was kind of like, yeah, look, it's a nightmare to get into the top 3% in this. Realistically, if you're like, you know, considering how difficult it might be, you can just see again there in the actual rankings. Like, there is 378 racers in the top 25% and only 45 in that top 3%. So realistically, like, that is kind of near impossible. But yeah, that's a weird one. I tend to see, when I talk, I tend to race better. I don't know how that works. Just the Irish powers. But yeah, guys, good luck and drive safe.